Okay, so next topic is compactness. This one is another topological properties and one of the most important from competition point of view too. Also this topic has various applications, so we will see that one by one. Let me share first book. We call the definition. See, we have already studied compactness in real analysis as well as in metric spaces. Okay. Now, when we extend all those results to topological spaces, then we have to observe some of the differences. What are those differences? What are those exceptions we need to take care of? Now read it, compact spaces. So the notion of compactness, the idea of compactness is not nearly so natural as that of connectedness. Actually, why we need compactness, try to understand, that is very good written here. And then I will come to definition and then its application. I will explain it with the help of several examples. So from the beginning of the topology, it was clear that closed interval AB of the real line had a certain property that was crucial for proving such theorems as maximum value theorem and uniform continuity. If you recall uniform continuity and maximum value theorem, then there in real analysis we have discussed all this, that its domain was closed interval AB. But for a long time, it was not clear how this property should be formulated for an arbitrary topological space. It should be thought that the crucial property of closed interval AB was the fact that every infinite subset of closed interval AB has a limit point. And this property was one dignified with the same name of compactness. So later mathematicians realized that this formulation does not lie at the heart of the matter, but rather than a stronger formulation, I mean, in terms of open coverings of the space is more central. So in general, see, the difference you observe that in case of real analysis, we have seen that if R is equipped with usual metric, I mean, if space is complete, then there you will find that R under usual metric, if you recall from your real analysis, then there any compact set is closed and bounded are compact. But when we move to metric spaces, then there are examples that converse is not true. I mean, compact spaces in metric spaces are always closed and bounded, but closed and bounded spaces need not be compact. So for example, you can take discrete metric on real set of real. So there you will find that set is basically R with discrete metric is closed as well as bounded, but it is not compact, because whenever you cover it with, I mean, arbitrary union of singletons, then no finite collection from that singleton to singleton is going to cover your whole R. But in case of topological spaces, if we extend this result, then we will see that even, see, in general in topological space, we will not talk of boundedness. Even compact spaces may not be closed. So that we will take, I mean, in case of cofinite topology, we will see some of the exceptions. So I will come to that one by one, but you have to observe all these differences, that while extending it to topological spaces, what are the properties which were already true in, I mean, which are true in real and analysis and metric spaces, are they still holding in arbitrary topological spaces? So that we will cover we consider one by one. And see this definition, that that definition is not always good to define that compact sets are closed and bounded. Actually, that one is a particular property of it. So whenever you are asked that whether a set is compact or not, you need to show that if every open cover of that set has a finite subcover, then the set is said to be compact. So what we mean by finite cover, I mean cover and then finite subcover. So let us see it one by one. So it is not as natural or intuitive as the former. Some familiarity with it is needed before the usefulness become apparent. So this one is the definition, very simple definition, that any collection A of subset of a space X is said to cover X. This one is a family of sets, family of subsets of X. So it is said to cover X or covering of X if the union of the elements of this collection. This script A is basically a collection of subset of X, and if the union of the members of this script A is going to cover X, then we will say that that X has A is the covering of X. And suppose if all of the members of A are open, if all of the members of script A are open, then and it is also covering X, then I mean X is covered by union of A alpha, where alpha belongs to index set this script. Okay, so if each A alpha is open, if each A alpha is open, then we will say that, see, this A alpha, actually A alpha is coming from each of the alpha belongs to A, this collection. So what is going on, that if each of the A alpha is open and their union is going to cover X, so we will call this collection as open cover. So in case of compactness, we always need to look at open cover. Open cover if its elements are open subsets of X. And we know what we mean by open subset of X, means the topology present on X. Suppose script T is the topology present on X, then we know that its member are going to be said to be open subsets of X, means they will be member of the script T topology. Now look at its exact definition. A space X is said to be compact if every open cover A of X, script A of X, contains a finite subcollection that also cover X. I mean, if every open cover, here mark this statement, if every open cover A of X contains a finite subcollection that also cover X, then we say that space X is compact. So to discard that a set is not compact, what we need to do? We need to find at least one open cover which has no finite subcover. Okay. What I'm saying here, a space X is said to be compact if every open cover A of X contains a finite subcollection that also covers X. So if you have to discard, then you have to think of at least one open cover which has no finite subcover. Finite subcover, I mean, from this collection, there will be some finite members whose union is also going to cover X. So let us look at it one by one. See, the real line is not compact. This one is a very good example, and already we have seen all these examples in real analysis and metric spaces. So let me recall it once again, because those students who are new to this, they need to understand this. The real line R is not compact. Why? Because for the covering of R by open intervals. Now look, I mean on this R, on set of real numbers, actually the topology is not given. So I said that wherever topology is not given, we will take standard topology. Otherwise topology will be always mentioned. And we know that with respect to standard topology, what are the basis members? Basis member is basically collection of all open intervals where AB belongs to R. Now with respect, I mean, question is that R with respect to standard topology is not compact. So how to show that this set is not compact? For this, we need to take at least one open cover which has no finite subcover. So you can think that, see, this collection where n belongs to Z. Let me take n equal to 1 here. So you will get 1, 3. Let me take n equal to -1 here. So what we will get? -1, and from this -1, and then -1 plus 2, 1. So keep on putting the values of n equal to 2 and -2, 0, and all that. 0, in that case, we will get 0 and then 2 here. So if we take n equal to 10, then I will get -10, say -10 and -10 and 12 and so on. So you can see that for n belonging to Z, their union is going to cover whole R. Their union of all these open intervals. Also, these are the basis member, and we know that basis members are always open. So union of all these open sets is going to cover whole R. So this one is the open covering. This one is sure that we have open covering. Now question is that from this collection, can you have finite sub collection which is also going to cover this whole R? I mean, suppose, let me name them. Suppose an is equal to n plus 2. Let me call this one. I mean, for A1, it will be -1, 2, 3. I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, and A2. It will be just for the simplicity, you can denote A2 as 2, 2, 4, and so on. A -1, this notation. put n equal to -1 here. So what we will have? -1 to 1. -1 plus 2, -1, this one. So what is my claim is that, I mean, do we have some finite collection like A1, A2, A-1 and so on from this collection, here n belongs to Z, from this countable collection? Do we have some finite collection which is also going to cover X or whole R?
No, sir.
So clearly no, but how to prove that? This one is clearly visible, but suppose we have some collection, say A naught. Just I'm giving you idea. In my earlier lectures on metric spaces also already I have explained in detail. So you can watch those lectures on compactness. Anyway, suppose out of them say A naught, A-1 and say A2 and A100. Suppose this one is the finite set which is covering this one. And we have to take union. So what will happen if you plot A0, just to reject, how to reject? A0 is basically what we have? A0, 1, 2, 3. Is it? Put n equal to, because n is running, I mean n belongs to Z. So if you put n equal to 0 here, we'll get 1 to 0 to 2. A0 is 0 to 2. So you will have 0 to. Yes. Similarly, if you plot A-1, we will have -1 to 1. -1 to 1. And if you have A2, we have A2 is 2 to 4. So 2 to 4. And if you take say A100, and let me take also A-100. So A100 will be 100 to 100 plus 2, somewhere 100 to 100 plus 2, 100 plus 2. And if you take n is equal to -100, it will be -100 to, it will be somewhere say -100 to, I mean -100 plus 2. Yes, 98. Plot here. And we are taking union. Now look, see, whenever you have finite number of collection, then the biggest indices, I mean, after taking union, on the left, the biggest indices will be, say, I mean, out of these indices, the largest one is going, I mean, when we take I mean, -n, here, if this subscript is negative, so it is going to cover the maximum leftmost part. But suppose for in this example, the leftmost part after taking union will be covered up to -100. Okay, because we have taken here A-100. I mean, they may be in a order, if they may be not, it will not matter. So A to A-100 means at most to the left, I am going to cover up to -100. I mean, from all these, you can choose maximum. Okay. I mean, from all these indices, from left, you can choose minimum, and on the right, you can choose maximum, because we are taking union. So what will happen up to this real number, -100 real numbers will be covered. But what about those real numbers are just left to -100? So that will be not covered. So, I mean, whole R is not going to cover. The idea is that whole R is not going to. So whenever we have some finite collection from this covering, whenever we have some finite collection from this covering, then what will happen, that choose maximum of the right or minimum of the left, and you will find that the real numbers left to that maximum and not, or the right to the maximum of all these indices will not be covered. Thus, in this way, this one is a covering because every member is open. In fact, this one is an open covering. As per definition, every member of this collection is open. Their union is going to cover whole R, but none of the finite covering, none of the finite collection from this covering is going to cover whole R. So this is the reason why, and remember, to discard, you have to construct only one open set, I mean only one open covering, which has no finite covering. To prove this is not the way, but to discard, you have to construct at least one open cover which has no finite sub cover. So this is the reason why R is not compact. Not only this, even if you can take R with standard topology, discrete topology. Look, I'm not talking here about discrete metric, discrete topology. R with discrete topology. What are the basis member for discrete topology? Recall?
The collection of all power sets.
Very good. Collection of discrete topology. And what are the basis for that? Basis for discrete is
the singleton.
Yeah, collection of all singleton. Very good. Where P belongs to R. Now look, see, my claim is that R with discrete topology is also not compact. I'm not talking metric here. That is the another thing, that from discrete metric one can generate discrete topology, because with the help of discrete metric you have discrete, singletons as walls, and by taking their union one can generate any set. But here I have written discrete topology. So discrete topology means collection of all, power set of R. So you can see here that its basis is basically collection of all singletons where P belongs to R. Now see, if you write R as union of all those singleton P where P belongs to R, then clearly this one is going to cover whole R, because P is running on whole R. So their union is going to cover whole R. Now out of these collections, out of this collection, can finite number of such collection can cover R? See, whenever you take here finite choices, that will never cover R. Suppose just for the sake of understanding, suppose we have P is equal to 1 here, 1.1 and 2 and 3 and root 2. So you will find that whenever you have such finite collection, you will find that some of the points are going to be covered. 1, 1.1, 2, root 2, all these are covered. And what about the rest real numbers? Those will not be covered. So this is the reason why this one is an open covering. Singleton collection of all singletons is going to be an open cover of for the R under discrete topology, but this has no finite subcover. This has no finite subcover. So remember, R with standard topology as well as R with discrete topology, both are not compact. So by changing, we will see that by changing the topology on same set, a set may be compact, may not be compact. So I will come to all those examples one by one. ठीक है, पढ़ाया मैं थोड़ा सा शॉर्ट में मैंने इसलिए कर दिया क्योंकि मैं रियल में और मेट्रिक में ये सब चीजें कई बार आपको करा चुका हूँ. देयर इज नथिंग. ठीक है, तो जिन लोगों ने पहले लेक्चर नहीं भी सुना है तो सिंपल सा डेफिनेशन इसे फॉलो करना है. इसमें इतना दिमाग लगाने की जरूरत नहीं. जहां दिमाग लगाना होगा वहां बताऊंगा. ठीक है, जबरदस्ती डेफिनेशन को टफ नहीं बनाते. सिंपली जो कह रहा है कि ओपन कवरिंग लेना है और फाइनाइट सब कवर देखना है. But how you will claim that it will hold for every open cover? So remember, this definition is just to discard that whenever R is not compact, you need to think for at least one open cover which has no finite subcover. Now there is a very good example, example 2 here. So read it, then I will explain. देखो, जब भी आप टोपोलॉजी पढ़ रहे हो तो टोपोलॉजी के क्वेश्चंस अगर आपको दे रहे, कभी वहां मेट्रिक या नॉर्म यूज नहीं करते अनलेस वो मेंशन ना हो. जैसे उस दिन मैंने आप लोगों को वो दिया था सवाल, सबने उसमें मेट्रिक और नॉर्म यूज कर लिया. Avoid all this unless it's given, because you will find various exceptions when you are moving from metric. See, real analysis is a particular case of metric space. In R or a subset of R, we have basically in real analysis we have studied all these things under visual metric. But in metric spaces on the same set we may have different metric. So real analysis is basically one of the particular case of metric spaces. But in topological spaces, the difference is that on a set we have some collection from power set. So we will never talk of metric unless the space is metrizable or the metric is given to you. The topology, the balls, the open sets are generated from the open balls. If it is given, then it's okay. Otherwise, we will always talk in terms of basis and open set. And if you replace basis in case of metric spaces, from the topology, if you want results of metric space, then if you replace, see, in case of standard topology and all that, we have seen that on R and R2 that if you replace this basis members by balls, then we will get all results of the metric spaces. But a topological spaces can be generated without the metric. ठीक है ना, तो इन चीजों को ख्याल रखेंगे. मैंने यहाँ कहीं भी डिस्क्रीट टोपोलॉजी लिखा है. देयर इज अ डिफरेंस बिटवीन डिस्क्रीट टोपोलॉजी एंड डिस्क्रीट मेट्रिक. डिस्क्रीट मेट्रिक विल गिव यू डिस्टेंस, but on R if you have the discrete topology, so one cannot measure the distance between two elements. जो टूल दिया जाए सिर्फ आप उससे बात करेंगे हम लोग. ठीक है, देखो example 2. This one is a very good example to understand, and you can also recall. अच्छा, ये जो बेसिकली मेट्रिक आई मीन कॉम्पैक्टनेस में ये मैटर नहीं करता कि आप ओपन सेट किसके रिस्पेक्ट में देखते हो। आई मीन जो ओपन कवरिंग बना रहे हो ना, वो एक्स के रेस्पेक्ट में देखते हो या उसका अगर कोई सबसेट दे रखा है उसे भी चेक करना हो, सो यू इट विल नॉट मैटर। व्हाई आई लेट मी एक्सप्लेन दैट रिजल्ट फर्स्ट। चला गया 180 पे था, एंड आई विल रिकॉर्ड लेक्चर ऑफ दिस वन, आई विल पोस्ट रिकॉर्डेड लेक्चर। कुछ पोर्शन है जिन्हें छोड़ा नहीं जा सकता, तो अभी तो मैं करा देता हूँ, और जब कंपटीशन के लिए पढ़ाऊंगा तो उसमें कुछ मैं और डिटेल में करा दूंगा। लेकिन जो मिनिमम है आपका कोर्स का, क्योंकि 15 डेज में मुझे कवर करना है, तो थोड़ा सा मैं शॉर्ट चल रहा हूँ, लेकिन आपको एग्जाम्पल से अगर समझ में आ जाएगा तो वो कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर होगा। नाउ व्हाट आई एम सेइंग, ट्राइंग टू से हियर दैट, लुक हियर, द क्लेम इज दैट फॉलोइंग सबस्पेस ऑफ आर इज कॉम्पैक्ट। सबस्पेस, ये लीनियर अलजेब्रा का सबस्पेस नहीं, पहले ही बता चुका हूँ। सबस्पेस इज द टर्मिनोलॉजी यूज्ड हियर, means this set is a subset of R equipped with subspace topology। वो linear algebra का नहीं है, ये बार बार मैं रिपीट कर रहा हूँ। Now claim is that the following subspace of R is compact। What is X? X is 0 union 1 by n belongs to Z plus, ठीक है ना। 0 union 1 by n, ये set compact, I mean this set is compact, this set is compact। बहुत ही अच्छा सवाल है आपको बेसिक समझने के लिए। अच्छा, इस पे I mean 2, 3, 4, and there is one more result. Let me recall that. Look, this is lemma 26.1. It says that suppose Y be a subspace of X, Y cubed is subspace topology induced from X, then Y is compact if and only if every covering of Y by sets open in X contain a finite subcollection. Same stand true for any subspace of X, and for see Y is said to be compact if and only if every covering of Y, I mean we are covering Y from the open sets in X, from I mean from the topology present on, because in topology the members of the topology are said to be open. So we are covering Y, if even if you cover Y with the open sets in X, then again, and if every open cover has finite subcollection, then it is equivalent to saying that we are covering Y with the subspace topology on Y. Because see, the reason is that whenever you know the I mean whenever we have topology on X, we know the open set of X, and if we take its intersection with Y, then those will be basically open sets of Y. So that result I will prove, but here I am emphasizing that it will not matter. I mean, even if you look Y, to claim that Y is compact, even if I cover it with the open sets of X, and if every open cover has finite subcover, then again Y is said to be compact. So that is what I am going to use here. Now come to example number 2. So following subspace of R is compact, X is equal to 0 union 1 by n, where n belongs to Z plus. First read this result and then I will explain you. Pardon? Okay, I have 5 minutes. Now, look, read it word by word. This one is a very standard book. Don't ignore the lines written here. So if you look at here, given an open covering A of X, there is an element U of A containing 0. The set U contains all but finitely many of the points 1 by n. Choose for each point of X not in U an element of A containing it. The collection consisting of these elements of A along with the elements U is a finite subcollection of A that cover X. Actually, here it's written in short, but even I have explained this one in the case of real analysis and metric spaces lecture. I have explained there all these, I mean this example. I will already share this one, but because here I am trying to use, I am trying to explain it with the help of topological, the concept of topology. So let me recall again. Now, before it, see on R, basically this one is a subset of R, and on R we have product topology. So on X we have subspace topology. And how to obtain the open sets of X? Let us talk in terms of basis first, because once you know the basis, one by taking their union, one can generate open set. So let us reduce our calculation to basis. So what will happen there? See, on R, collection of all open intervals AB, where AB belongs to R, is the basis for standard topology on R. And if we take intersection of all those basis members with the set X, then that is going to form the open sets of the subspace topology with respect to X. So this much we know. Now let me explain first this one. Now let me first recall some of the important properties. We know, but still I need to recall here. Anyone tell me Archimedean property of R? The real number. This one is a very good Archimedean property of real numbers. If you recall Archimedean, then what it says, that for every epsilon greater than 0, there exists n belonging to n, there exists n naught belonging to set of natural number, such that 1 by n is less than epsilon for every n greater than equal to n naught. See this one line, I mean, one of the property of Archimedean property of real number, this way is very important and will be and is used. We are using it at most of the places. So what is it says, that whatever epsilon greater than 0 one choose, you will always find some n naught such that 1 by n is less than epsilon for every n greater than equal to n naught. Try to understand this. Say for epsilon, let me take epsilon is equal to 0.33, this one. Then the claim is that n naught, see, in fact, n naught is equal to 1 by epsilon. Its ceiling function will work. So you can think of 1 upon 0.333. क्या होगा इसका ceiling? 4. ये कितना हो जाएगा? 3 point something आएगा ना? Okay. So claim is that for all n greater than equal to 4, for all n greater than equal to 4, one can check that 1 by n will be always less than epsilon for every n greater than equal to 4. देखो, already पहले पढ़ा चुका हूँ मैं, यहाँ short में recall करा रहा हूँ. So I mean, whatever epsilon is given to you, look, for n equal to 4, the 1 by 4 epsilon is 0.33, and 1 by less than 1 by 4. 1 by 4 is basically 0.25.
0.25.
So 0.25 is less than 0.33. So what we are trying to what this result from I mean, from this result, see, you can say that because n belongs to n, n belongs to n, so and 1 by n is less than epsilon, so I can say here that 0 plus 1 by n is less than 0 plus epsilon. In fact, this one. So what is going on, that in between 0 to epsilon, how many elements of the type 1 by n we have? Can you claim me that in between 0 to epsilon, how many elements of the type 1 by n we have? Look here. This is true for all n greater than equal to n naught. I mean, for some fixed n naught is for some fixed natural number. And for all n greater than equal to n naught, 1 by n will be in this interval. So how many are left out? At most n naught minus 1. जैसे यहाँ देखो 4 हुआ ना, तो for n starting from 4, 1 by 4 will be in this one, epsilon is equal to say 0.33. So 1 by 4 is here. For n equal to 5, 1 by 5 will be here, 1 by 5. For n equal to 6, 1 by 6 will be close to 0, 1 by 6, and so on. So how many are left out? Yes, how many are left out?
Finite.
At most
3.
Finite. What are those? For it will not hold for n equal to 1, 2 and 3. 1, 2 and 3. So see, in all cases, only for n equal to 1 it will fail, for n equal to 2 it will fail, for n equal to 3. So what are those elements lying outside this epsilon? That will be 1, 1 by 2 and 1 by 3. So what I'm trying to say that, see, any neighborhood of 0 will be of the type 0 minus epsilon, 0 plus epsilon. Any neighborhood of 0, I mean in R or its union, This one is the basis member containing 0, and any other will be union of this one. So whenever any neighborhood is going to contain 0, then in between this is 0 minus epsilon and 0 plus epsilon. For every epsilon greater than 0, there lies infinitely many elements of the type 1 by n in between this range. So if it is lying in the 0 to epsilon, then obviously it will lie in their superset. 1 by n टाइप के मेंबर कितने हैं एप्सिलॉन के बीच में? For every n greater than equal to n naught, infinitely many. कितने चॉइस हैं? Infinitely many. And how many are left outside? Only finite, at most finite. So basically what is going on, that limit of 1 by n, actually यहाँ पे हम क्या यूज कर, 1 by n का लिमिट क्या होता है? 0. So if 0 is the limit, then whatever neighborhood you will construct, if you look at the definition of limit, then in every neighborhood it will contain infinite members of the set. Okay, you can think also, because in this case set and sequence will coincide, so no problem. And outside it there will be, every element is distinct. So, and outside it there will be only finite elements. So that is what, that whatever epsilon 1 choose, if we take any neighborhood containing 0, then in between every neighborhood there will be infinite members of the type 1 by n, and outside that neighborhood there will lie only finite members of the set. Now using this, let me come to that example. देखो मोंकरेस स्टैंडर्ड बुक क्यों है ना, इसमें एक दो लाइन लिख के छोड़ देते हैं। I mean, बहुत अच्छा देखो यहाँ पॉइंट मेन पॉइंट लिख दिया, लेकिन उसको समझने के लिए आपको अगर पहले से नहीं चीजें रिवाइज करोगे तो प्रॉब्लम होगी ना। लुक, given an open covering A of X, there is an element U of A containing 0, and from we know that in case of R with subspace topology, all these basis members of the type AB, where AB belongs to R, all these are basis members of R with respect to standard topology, and if I take intersection of this basis member with X, it is going to form basis of the set X with respect to subspace topology, generating subspace topology. But there is no need to think on X, I mean restrict this one on X, because as per the next lemma, even if you are covering Y with the open sets from X, and if every such open cover has finite subcollection, then again Y is compact. So one can directly use, I mean there is no need to take intersection of this one with X. So just think of the members of this type. But question is how to show that every open cover has finite subcover. This is the main point, key point. How to show that every open cover has finite subcover. So claim is that, see, if we have 0 and suppose AB is a basis member from R, generating product topology on R, standard topology on R containing 0. And you can compare just like you can think of A as minus epsilon, 0 minus epsilon, and B as 0 plus, because we are on real line. So in between 0 to B, I mean B is a number greater than 0, right to B, we have how many elements of the type 1 by n? Infinitely many, and outside there are only finite elements. I mean, whenever one choose any open set containing A, then from Archimedean property of real number, every such neighborhood will contain how many members of the type 1 by n? Infinitely many. And outside there lies only finite members. So in one open set containing 0, let me call this one as this. See, the open interval AB is one of the set. Let me fix it. Let me call this G naught equal to open interval AB. So within this one open set, infinite members of this set lie, I mean, in any open set containing 0. Take any open set containing 0. So what will happen, that infinite members of this set of the type 1 by n will lie in every open set containing 0. So because I need to construct finite, so what is going on, that if we take any one of the open set containing 0, then infinite members of the type 1 by n will lie within this interval, and there lies only finite. Suppose those members are left are 1 by 1, 1 by 2, 1 by 3, and 1 by n naught minus 1. These are the members left out, because for all n greater than equal to n naught, every member start lying within this neighborhood. So suppose these are the left out. So what is going on here, that using that Archimedean property of real number in any open set, if we take any open set containing 0, then infinite members will lie inside and only finite members will lie outside. That is what written here. So that finite members can be covered by, so suppose we have set G1, I mean some open interval containing one element, 1. Suppose I have another G2 containing half. Suppose I have G3 containing 1 by 3. So G1, G2, G3 up to Gn naught minus 1. So how many total sets are there? G1, G2, G3, Gn naught minus 1. So total n naught minus 1 sets here, and this one set G naught, which is covering every element except some finite every elements, n naught minus 1 plus 1. So how many total number of sets we have? N naught. So again we have finite subcover. I mean whatever open cover you will choose from R, then since that is an open cover, so it will also cover 0, because 0 is there in X. So whenever you take any open set containing 0, that as per definition from Archimedean property of real numbers, infinite members of the type 1 by n will be within that neighborhood, and outside it there lie only finite members. Now the question is that how one choose G0, G1, these elements. Even if you choose open sets just containing one element, these elements, then again total number of subsets will be finite, exactly n naught. How to choose that? One, see here we have 1, here we have 1 by 2, here we have 1 by 3, and so on. So you can choose G0 in such a way such that it exactly contains 1, G1 such that it exactly contains 1 by 2, G3 such that it exactly contains 1 by 3. Just make a cut before 1 by 4, right to 1 by 4 and before 1 by 2. So in this way one can always do this construction. So here the advantage is that now in general, for just for the purpose of, see, if you think it as a sequence 1 by n, then its limit is going to 0. So whenever you take any open set containing 0, and because here we have the standard topology, so all those basis members will be of the type open interval AB. So, and we from Archimedean property of real numbers, in every neighborhood AB containing 0, we have infinitely many members of this type, and outside it there lies only finite one. So just by adding this limit, see, if you take this set C is equal to only 1 by n, then this set is where n belongs to n, this set is not going to compact. This set is not, just look at its singleton, this is not going to compact. But here the advantage is that due to presence of its limit point in this one, limit in this one, whatever neighborhood we will choose, neighborhood here in notation of Munkres, that is for open set. Okay, so whatever open set you will choose containing 0, it will contain infinite members of the type 1 by n, and outside it there lies only finite points. So already that is open. This is the reason why every open cover of X from R, we are choosing open set from R, always has finite subcover. सोचो इस पे दोबारा फिर से सोचना, इस एक एग्जांपल में बहुत कुछ रिजल्ट यूज हुआ है, लाइक आर्किमेडियन प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ रियल नंबर्स, और ये हमेशा एक कंफ्यूजन होता है कि हम मतलब उसके सबसेट पे कैसे देखें, सब स्पेस के हम लेकर बनाएं ये ओपन सेट कवरिंग, और फ्रॉम इट सुपर सेट. So that will not matter in case of compactness, because whenever you will take from superset, from just like in this one, from R, open cover of open sets from R and cover them with this one, and if you take intersection of all those open sets with X, that will form open sets with respect to X, subspace topology. तो यहाँ पे आपको परेशान होने की जरूरत नहीं है. Now example 3, any space X containing only finitely many points is necessarily compact, because in this case every open cover of X is finite. See, finiteness is in layman terms we can say that roughly that finiteness is some sort of generalization of finite set, abstract generalization of finite set. ठीक है ना? क्योंकि देखो हो क्या रहा है basically. A set is said to be compact if every open cover has finite subcover. So what we are trying to look, that we are trying to cover a set with its finite number of subsets, with finite number of open set, finite number of open set. ठीक है। तो आप इसको ऐसे भी सोच सकते हो, मतलब एग्जैक्ट डेफिनेशन तो नहीं कह सकते, एग्जैक्ट डेफिनेशन तो हमेशा हम यही यूज करेंगे that every open cover has finite subcover. Don't use that definition closed and boundedness in topological spaces. In metric spaces, that one is a particular case of this one, but in topology, this that definition will not hold true. क्योंकि बाउंडेड होने के पहले तो मेट्रिक होना चाहिए ना. सो इन आर्बिट्री टोपोलॉजिकल स्पेसेस देयर इज नो कांसेप्ट ऑफ बाउंडेडनेस. ठीक है ना. तो वो जो आप कहते हो कॉम्पैक्ट होगा तो क्लोज्ड एंड बाउंडेड होगा, सो दैट इज नॉट ट्रू हियर. इन नेक्स्ट क्लास आई विल शो यू दैट इवन अ कॉम्पैक्ट सेट नीड नॉट बी क्लोज्ड. इन टोपोलॉजिकल स्पेस इवन अ कॉम्पैक्ट सेट नीड नॉट बी क्लोज्ड. बाउंडेडनेस दूर की बात है, टोपोलॉजी में तो बातें नहीं करते. So important point is that while you are moving from real analysis to metric spaces and then you are generalizing your results to topological spaces, you need to take care of all those results whether which you have studied in your metric space, whether they are still true in topological spaces or not. Try to differentiate in this way. ठीक है ना. इसको हमेशा डिफरेंशिएट करके पढ़ो. चलो, अब क्योंकि टाइम ओवर हो रहा है, ये सब क्वेश्चन मैं आपको करा चुका हूं, बट एनीवे इन नेक्स्ट क्लास आई विल डिस्कस. Look, that closed interval 0 1 is compact. I mean that can be covered by finite number of open subcover. But if you have open here, then this one is a finite cover which has no finite subcover. ये सब बता चुका हूँ, आप एक बार इसको रिवाइज कर लो, फिर कल की क्लास में करेंगे. एंड दिस वन रिवाइज दिस आल्सो. दिस लेमा इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, क्योंकि यही लेमा आपको गारंटी देता है कि आपको जरूरी नहीं कि y के ही ओपन सेट बनाने हो. इवन यू कैन टेक ओपन कलेक्शन फ्रॉम हियर, टोपोलॉजी प्रेजेंट ऑन हियर, and if every open cover has finite subcover, then again y is said to be compact. लेकिन डिस्कार्ड करने के लिए ना, डिस्कार्ड करने के लिए एक रिजल्ट बहुत है, जस्ट लाइक इन केस ऑफ रियल. यहाँ देखो, यहाँ डिस्कार्ड करने के लिए एक ओपन कवर बहुत, ओपन कवर तो बहुत सारे बनाएंगे, लेकिन जब डिस्कार्ड करना हो तो एक. यहाँ पे भी देखो, आपको कोई एक ऐसा ओपन कवर बनाओ जिसको कोई फाइनाइट सब कवर ना हो. मुझे लगता नहीं इसमें आपको दिक्कत आनी चाहिए, क्योंकि ऑलरेडी सब चीजें मैं बहुत कई बार डिस्कस कर चुका हूँ रियल और मेट्रिक के स्पेस में. जो लोग नए हैं वो लेक्चर देख लेंगे. ठीक है. So always remember this definition, that to show that a set is compact, you need to show that if every open cover has finite subcover, then set is said to be compact. ठीक है. तो टाइम ओवर हो रहा है, मैं यहीं पे क्लास बंद करता हूँ. एंड in next class we will see some of the important result. किसी क्लास है नेक्स्ट आपकी? यस
सर, जावेद सर.
हाँ, तो ठीक है, मैं यहीं पे एंड करता हूँ. फिर कल का क्लास का ऐसा है ना, कल हो सकता है नहीं, वो 8 बच्चे उनका मुझे वाइवा लेना है, तो हो सकता है मैं पहले. कल आपकी क्लास कितने बजे है? 10:45
टाइम पे.
हाँ, तो 9 से, तो हाँ तब तक तो मैं कंप्लीट कर दूंगा. ठीक है, कल क्लास लूंगा उस टाइम. एक्चुअली देखो, ये सब टॉपिक आप मिस मत करो. कॉम्पैक्टनेस, कनेक्टेडनेस कुछ करा रहा हूँ ना, जैसे थोड़ा सा बेसिक आइडिया रहेगा तो कंपटीशन क्लास में मैं और ऐड. हालांकि ये टॉपिक मेरा बहुत फेवरेट रहा है, लेकिन अब 15 दिन में कितना मैं पढ़ा दूंगा. मैं कुछ रिकॉर्डेड लेक्चर आपको दे दूंगा, लेकिन आप लोग मिस नहीं करेंगे. पढ़ लें, हमेशा काम आएगा. अभी आप डीजी पढ़ोगे, वहां काम आएगा. बिना इनके आप समझ लो प्योर मैथमेटिक्स में आपका एग्जिस्टेंस नहीं है. दिस इज द रीजन व्हाई आई एम एम्फसाइजिंग ऑन ऑल दिस लेक्चर्स टू मच. ठीक है, वरना हमेशा आपको बेसिक नहीं क्लियर होगा तो, और ये हर जगह यूज होता है, हर एक कंपटीशन में आता है. आप आगे एक तरह से ये मैं बता दूं कि पूरी प्योर मैथमेटिक्स का बिल्डिंग ब्लॉक है ये. अगर आपको कॉम्पैक्टनेस, कनेक्टेडनेस, ये सब बेसिक चीजें नहीं आती, आप आगे प्योर मैथमेटिक्स अच्छा कर नहीं कर सकते. आप चाहे कितना भी पढ़ लो, मार्क्स से इंडिपेंडेंट में सीखने की बात कर रहा हूँ. ठीक है, मैं लेक्चर कंप्लीट करता हूँ, फिर एक एक करके डिस्कस करेंगे.